crafters, let's make some fun number magnets. Hello, I am Katie from thecraftyblogStalker.com, and if you're new to my channel and you love free tutorials, make sure to hit that subscribe button. These are the items I'm using today, and I do have a complete supply list with shoppable links in the description of this video and in the blog post, as well as my laser cutting machine and an SVG that I designed specifically for this project that I have made available to download for free. So make sure to visit thecraftyblogStalker.com to grab that free SVG file. I am cutting out my numbers using a 3mm MDF sheet, but you could use any material that you have. For the magnetic sheets, you do not want to cut them with your laser. It is not safe unless the material specifically says it is safe for lasers. Otherwise, it has PVC in it, which can be toxic. And the little magnetic pieces can actually ruin your machine. So do not cut your magnetic sheet in your laser cutter. I'm going to tape down a piece of paper to my work surface here. And then I'm going to tape my pieces to this paper. I'll take a long piece of tape and loop it over on itself and then put that on my paper. This way I don't have to hold the numbers and get paint all over my fingers. I'll let the tape hold the numbers. Here are all of my numbers. I only did one of each number, but you can cut as many out as you want. I'm going to make sure that the right side is up and put them on my tape. And I'm not doing them in any specific order. I want them to be kind of random. I am going to paint using these little triangle makeup sponges. I love using sponges because they're so much cheaper than the foam brushes, and they work really well, especially when painting smaller pieces like these numbers. So I cut them in half. I'm going to use this plate as my paint palette. I'm going to start with white. To get the most vibrant color, I'm going to paint the base of all of my numbers white. So I'll just dab that in my paint and bounce that on my numbers. I'm going to let this paint dry completely, and then I'll move on to my colors. Now that our white is dry, we can start adding our other colors. That's why I separated them into different sections so we can do different colors with them. I'll start with the pink, paint it exactly the same way. And this time I'm going to apply 2 coats. I'll let the first coat dry and then apply my second coat. I'll add my blue paint and my orange paint. Then I'll come around and do my second coat. With the final coat, I like to kind of smooth it out a little bit. I'm gonna let these dry completely before I move on to the next step. Now that these are dry, I can take them off of the tape. They are safe to handle. Here are all of our painted numbers. Now we just need to add a magnet to the back of them. Now, like I said earlier, do not cut this with your laser cutting machine. We are going to cut it with a ruler, a craft knife on this self-healing mat. I am using a 30mm thick magnetic sheet. And I like the thicker material because the thicker the magnetic sheet, the better it will stick to those magnetic surfaces like a fridge or stove or a car or whatever. I'm going to cut it with my craft knife, a ruler, on this self-healing mat, and I'm just going to cut it into strips, nothing too fancy, about 1/2 inch thick. It takes several passes. And there is our first strip. I'm going to cut a couple more. I like cutting them this way to start because it makes sure that all the pieces are the same width, where if I just did it with a pair of scissors without a ruler, it would vary all over the place. My magnetic sheet is not adhesive. You can get adhesive sheets. I'm just going with what I already had. So I am going to use some 3-in-1 beacon glue to adhere the magnetic strip to the back of my numbers. I'll turn these over. And you want to make sure that you are gluing the correct side down. I have this metal pan here, and as you can see, it sticks one way and the other way it doesn't stick. So the side that doesn't stick is the side you want to glue to your number. And then I can just measure that against my number and cut just with a pair of scissors. This one, I think we're gonna do a couple pieces. I can just put a line of glue on the back of my number and glue that on. I'm going to repeat that for all of my numbers. I have the magnet on the back of all of my pieces, and now I just need to let them dry. The glue for my magnets is dry, so now I can turn them over and start playing with them. We have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. Aren't those so fun? I have my metal pan here so I can put them on and they won't fall off. Now, I don't know if these would be strong enough to like actually hold up papers on a fridge, but the magnets are definitely strong enough to just play with on the fridge. You could even just use a little baking pan like I have. And if you're having so much fun with these magnets, I also have a matching alphabet set. You can cut the alphabet set as well. Aren't these so fun? You can spell all sorts of different words. And they're so easy to make with your laser. Make sure to visit my website, thecraftyblogstalker.com, so you can grab both sets of these SVG files for free. Thanks everyone. Bye and happy crafting.